So I thought I would take the break in the clouds of rain and come out in the sun to shoot you this very quick video. So I often post some answers to the questions of Dear Jenny, and this week I was asked, Dear Jenny, do you have a morning routine? So if you are either a busy business owner, maybe you are a founder, or you work and are responsible for a team of people to get them going and keep them going, this one particularly will be for you. And of course, for those of you that are looking to enhance or enrich your visibility game, that will also be for you too. So I'm stood in a hoodie because it's a bit windy. Let's see what the sound comes out like from this. So there are three things. I'm going to talk about what I do and why. So the first thing I want to say is, there's no definition on a specific morning routine. One really great resource, for example, is a book called The Miracle Morning by a guy called Hal Enron. And he talks about waking up at 5 a.m. and going through certain motions of doing things in different ways so that you can get the most out of your day, the most out of your morning. But you don't have to do that. If you're a 3 a.m. person, or maybe you're a 11 a.m. person, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is doing what fits right and sits right for you. So I thought I would share a part of my morning routine, and hopefully it's helpful. I've had a lot of clients ask me about this over the years too. So I mean, first and foremost, there is no such thing as the perfect formula. It has to work for you, has to work for who you are, has to work for your lifestyle, has to work for your business or the business that you're working in. And you can definitely take inspiration from many people out there, but it really does have to work for you. So one of the things that I've incorporated in my business, and some of these have changed over the years. So one of the things I've probably put in place now for probably the last 3 years or so is my 10 a.m. rule. I don't plan or book any meetings before 10 a.m. in the morning. But the reason that I do that for me is because I like to get into the flow of my morning. Sometimes I'm traveling, sometimes I'm not. But I like to get into the flow of my mornings, and it works with the other things I do to set my day up. It means that by 10 a.m. I'm firing on all cylinders, ready to speak to people. It doesn't mean that I don't necessarily work before. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Now, I appreciate that if you work for a company, you might not be able to kind of set your start time like that, even if you're working from home. So what I would get you to think about are like working your day within the parameters that you've got. So the next thing that I do is I select a tea. Unlike many entrepreneurs out there, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't tolerate caffeine, so I don't drink caffeine. But I have the biggest selection of things like rooibos tea to my favourite, a pucker, but they're not sponsoring this video, but they are one of my favourite, to yogi teas. So every morning I'll kind of just see what I fancy. If it's hot, I will still sometimes have a hot tea. My favourites at the moment are a tea by Pucker called Womankind, another one called Love Tea, which gets a few giggles when I tell people I'm having a bit of hot love. I don't know why. And the yogi teas have actually got little messages on the back, so they're quite inspiring for the day, and you never know what that day is going to throw at you, which brings me to my third thing. I do two types of meditation. So the first meditation I select really kind of gets my brain into the cogs moving so I can do the kinds of things that I want to do as the day progresses. The next meditation I do is one that it's not a guided meditation, it's purely music, but what it does is it allows me to vision what I want, not just for my day, but long term. It keeps me connected to my big why, it keeps me connected to the work I do, it keeps me connected to why I do what I do, regardless of what anyone thinks or says. Sorry, the wind's waving the camera around. Regardless of what anyone thinks or says. So it keeps me focused and it keeps me on track. Give one or some of those a go, see what works for you, and know that your routine doesn't have to be rigid or regimented. And sometimes it's great to switch it up a bit. I heard somebody recently talking about their morning routine, and by the end of the 5 minutes it took them to explain everything that they did, I was exhausted. So make sure it works for you. hopefully helpful. And if you want to dive into the more visible 60-minute calls that I'm offering just for a very short space of time, look underneath this video, click the link below, and let's jump in. I'll even record it for you so that you can get out there, be more visible, and do it differently in your way. That's it. Bye for now.